Coming up in the news, police cracking down on violators of the weekend lockdown. Coming up in the news, police cracking down on violators of the weekend lockdown. A local clinic providing COVID-19 testing. And GB Power employees rebuilding better and stronger. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Grand Bahama wrapping up the first weekend on lockdown. And while residents, for the most part, stayed at home, there were those who did not and will pay a heavy price for it. Tonight, the police chief tells us that several persons were arrested, including one who attempted to evade police. He eventually crashed in his vehicle on Midshipman Road. Shashina Farquharson has more.
Locked up for not locking down. Police officials say several persons on the island of Grand Bahama finding themselves on the wrong side of the law for breaching the emergency powers order. Now, the island's top cop says 20 persons will be taken to court for various offenses. These offenses include not wearing masks, selling alcoholic beverages, as well as operating barbershops, among other things.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force, I said that we would be out in full force to ensure that persons are in compliance with the COVID-19 laws. And as a result of that, we were out in full force and we took 20 persons into custody for not wearing masks, selling liquor without a business license, and in breach of the curfew.
And for the person caught selling rum from his home, Green Slate says, let this be a message to others who may be doing the same.
We're going to continue to be out there. We'll continue to enforce the law. And like I say, the vast majority of persons adhere to the rules. It's just that small minority who see fit, I should say, not to obey the law and the rules.
But a more serious incident taking place this weekend. According to the island's top cop, 2 persons tried to elude police officers, and one ended up in a serious car accident that could have claimed his life.
A vehicle with 3 youngsters in it tried to elude the police. We caught up to them and arrested them. And then we had this second individual who was by himself, and in trying to elude the police, he crashed. He caused damage to his vehicle. Most importantly, he caused injuries to himself, and he still was arrested and will be placed before the court.
Meantime, the officer in charge also sending this warning to ferry boat operators and boat owners in McLeanstown.
Not without a letter from the competent authority. They need to get permission. And if they don't have permission, they would be prosecuted. We are working along with the BDF, RVDF, Defense Force. They're out to sea. And when you come to land, you'll have to deal with the police.
Now, once again, ACP Green Slade says he is encouraging residents to adhere to the emergency powers order. If not, you too can find yourselves going before a magistrate. Shashina Farquharson, ZNS Network News.
The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases continuing to climb in the country. The Ministry of Health confirming Sunday that the total number is at 342. Yesterday, 5 additional cases were confirmed on New Providence, 10 on Grand Bahama, and 1 in Exuma. Currently, there are 169 cases on Grand Bahama, 135 confirmed cases in New Providence, 21 in Bimini, 6 in the Berry Islands, 4 in Cat Key, 3 cases in Moores Island, 2 confirmed cases in Cat Island, 1 case in Great Guanakee, and 1 confirmed case in Exuma. Investigations are ongoing and health officials continue to follow the condition of the other current COVID-19 positive cases. A private clinic here on Grand Bahama now offering COVID-19 testing, and it is being conducted curbside and by appointment only. Che Philippe picks up the story.
Lucayan Medical Center is now offering curbside COVID-19 testing. Dr. Marcus Bethel, administrator of Lucayan Medical Center, says this new service is a collaboration with Doctors Hospital. Initial swabbing is done at the center, then later forwarded to New Providence for further examination.
We're only collecting specimens on this end from the public as they may request. The actual tests are done in Nassau at Doctors Hospital Laboratory, where they have the necessary equipment to do the PCR testing.
Testing is done by appointments only. Persons can call the center at 373-7400 or 373-7401 or email at info@lucayanmedical.com to make appointments. When asked about the number of persons that have been tested so far with the new curbside service,
we are not at liberty to reveal at this time as we're under active review of the numbers, and so we're not able to give you any further information with respect to the tests themselves.
According to Dr. Bethel, applicants are being managed on a cash-only basis, which is roughly around $240, which means health insurance does not cover testing. The turnaround period is generally 1 day, but Dr. Bethel says the problem that the center is now facing is the Grand Bahama lockdown. As a result, they are having challenges transporting the swabs to and from New Providence.
The requirement to transfer the swabs to Nassau is impacted by the turnaround time is impacted by the lockdown and the movement of courier services to and from Nassau. We have had a steady flow in the hours that the curbside testing is being done. As word of the service is becoming available, more and more people seem to be showing up for the particular testing.
Grand Bahama now stands at 169 cases, which is more than any other island in the Bahamas. Dr. Bethel offered some advice to residents who have concerns.
We need to maintain control of ourselves and our panic state by following the protocols laid down for containing the COVID virus. Individuals that have reason to believe that they may have been exposed, certainly if they wish to have a COVID test, that would be appropriate. Obviously, panic will set into a lot of people, and that is not good because it creates anxiety, and oftentimes misinformation is disseminated to them. So the only sure way of testing for COVID infection is through the test, the PCR test. And as I say, all I'm asking the public is not to panic. There's no need for panic in Grand Bahama.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the local offices of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority are closed here on Grand Bahama for the duration of the 2-week lockdown. However, the managing director says that thanks to technology, the work will continue. Managing Director of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Kay Forbes Smith, noting that although the local office may be closed, the work continues. She says that the staff members who are responsible for working with registering homeowners are able to work from home.
And what we've done is we've redeployed those persons who would ordinarily be in the office and working with homeowners. They will now work from home for this lockdown period. And that's one of the good things about this online portal. Because we set up from day one an online registration, it means that you can be anywhere in the world and you can register the small home repair program. So I think it probably was a blessing in disguise. Not that we wanted to have COVID, but as a result of the pandemic, we've been able to continue to operate, even though not at 100%, but we've been able to still operate in terms of communicating with homeowners and registering new people every day. In terms of how successful we've been, I think our latest statistics show that over 4,000 people have registered for the small home repair program, probably 60% in Grand Bahama and 40% in Nassau.
She adds that the only delay homeowners may experience is on the behalf of hardware stores or contractors. Smith notes, however, that the DRA has cleaned up an estimated 3 million cubic yards of debris between Abaco and Grand Bahama at the cost of $27 million.
We are now trying to address the issue of marine debris as well as the cars that are derelict vehicles that you see all around Abaco and Grand Bahama. The way that we're going to handle that, though, we are going to put on an RFP for a salvage yard for Abaco and Grand Bahama, and we're going to have a kind of a P3 partnership between a business person, the DRA, and it would be with the Port Authority, because the Port Authority actually donated the property that's going to be used for the salvage yard in the civic Freeport area, civic industrial area of Freeport.
When it comes to East Grand Bahama and Sweetings Key, Smith says that they have temporary housing structures on island, but unfortunately they cannot be delivered until after the lockdown.
We had a donor who gave 20 by 20 temporary modular houses for Sweetings Key. The containers were cleared from Freeport Harbor last week. We have all the containers with the modular housing at they're staged in McLean's Town to go over to Sweetings Key, and obviously we've had to shut down for the next 2 weeks. We also have domes that are going to be put up. We have about 40 domes that will go up in the East Grand Bahama area, which now with the lockdown we are now shut down. But all of these items are now on island, and we hope to aggressively and quickly, once the lockdown is lifted, to be able to get those domes and modular housing up for the residents of East Grand Bahama.
Well, while rebuilding may have slowed or has come to a halt in some areas, it would appear that illegal construction is on the rise in one area of Abaco. Reports say another illegal Haitian community appears to be developing. Italia Hall spoke to the area MP about this growing concern.
In the video that went viral on social media, you can hear a Bahamian woman expressing disgust about what appears to be the rebuilding of shanty towns in Abaco. While the Member of Parliament for North Abaco, the Honorable Darren Henfield, says the government is concerned and aware of the situation.
Elsewhere Johnson, the Minister of Immigration, and myself, we were there about 2 weeks ago. We should have gone back for a meeting this past Friday. Due to the exigencies associated with COVID-19 and other things that we had to do, we could not go and hold a meeting with the Haitian community to explain to them that there would be no tolerance of a relocation of the mud, the P, or the sandbank, or any other irregular community in the Bahamas.
He's asking persons to cease and desist from building on land that does not belong to them.
The government is making available in Abaco two mixed use residential developments of 60 acres each. There's also plans for a development outside of Murphytown or in Murphytown that those who are entitled to be in the Bahamas will be able to apply, make applications for such properties and build their homes, as we intend to build one Bahamas. We don't intend to build separate communities in the Bahamas that present to us the type of challenges that we saw in Dorian.
The Member of Parliament says he understands clearly why Bahamians would be upset.
Bahamians have a right to be upset when people can come from elsewhere in the world and build on Crown land, whilst Bahamians await responses from their applications, because the government is moving as quickly as it can to address these issues with Crown land and grant thereof to Bahamians. You know, one of the policies of this government is to put Crown land in the hands of Bahamians from Inago all the way to Abaco, and that's what we're working on doing. And so when you see someone come and able to build without permission, without cognizance of the law, it should upset you as a Bahamian.
He says in the past the government attempted to remove the illegal communities, but was stopped by a court order.
But the court also determined that no one else should build, right? And despite the court's determination, we still see this building going on in the farm area of Abaco, which is completely intolerable and which will be dealt with in the shortest possible time.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Kingdom greetings. I am Kevin Brown, Senior Pastor of Apostolic Life Ministries. Today I would like to talk with you for a short while on trust in God. The scripture reading is taken from Proverbs 3, verses 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. What is the meaning of trust? A firm belief in someone or something. In this season of COVID-19, we have to believe in our God like never before. We have to know that God will protect us from the plan of the enemy. Psalms 91:10 says, "No evil shall befall you, nor should any plague come near your dwelling. For he should give his angel charge over you to keep you in all your ways." That is why we as Christians, we have to live a life that is holy and pleasing unto God. 1 Peter chapter 1:15 says, "But as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct, because it is written, be holy, for I am holy." You see, when we live a holy life, the presence and the fire of God will dwell around us, and the angels will be able to do their job. When trusted in God, many will say you are crazy. Yes, it's good to be called crazy for Jesus. Let's walk by faith and not by sight. Call those things which are not as though they are. God is saying, is anything too hard for him? Some of you might say, Pastor Brown, I understand what you're saying about trusting God, but I have been waiting for such a long time. I've been waiting for my healing, family salvation, home, job, even deliverance in my life, and it seems like nothing is happening. Sometimes I want to quit. Listen to me. Don't give up on God. He will work it out. I have proven him over and over. Again, I am Kevin Brown, Senior Pastor of Apostolic Life Ministry. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all.
Coming up, a pillar in the Christian community has passed away. That story when we come back.